Hello, hello! My name is Callista, and welcome back to Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition. In the last episode, we were exploring Farinata. We've grabbed the fuel depot, we just have this thing over here. But first, of course, I have to look at all of the planets. Of course I have to look at all of them. Nepnu. With a rare combination of features, Nepnu is of particular interest to the scientific community. Nepnu is a small terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and krypton. As with all the worlds of Farinata, its surface is scorching hot. Why? The crust mainly consists of silicates laced with iron. Orbital distance 117.7 the numbers. I'm sweating cobs here. I am sweating cobs. I can't be dealing with all of these numbers. Orbital distance 117.7 AU. Orbital period 302.0 Earth years. Radius 3,742 kilometers. Day length 30.1 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.23 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 848 Celsius, hot damn. Surface gravity 0.27. And then you, over here, what do you have for me? Juntauma. Juntauma is a small, broiling terrestrial world. Its thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane is being steadily blown off by the powerful solar wind from the star Farinata. The surface is scorching hot, and mainly composed of sulfur with deposits of copper. Its density is low enough to leave the world tidally locked to Farinata. The Alliance Defense Data Network notes that several ships have been spotted cruising near Juntauma with transponders turned off. While an Alliance patrol attempted pursuit of one, the unidentified vessel rabbited to FTL. Its trail was lost when it obscured its light trace in the confusion of signals along the Anasi Ishtar shipping lane. Orbital distance 57.05 AU. Orbital period 102.0 Earth years. Radius 4,227 kilometers. Day length 102.0 Earth years. Atmospheric pressure 0.36 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature, oh my god, 1,176 Celsius, and there's a planet even closer. There's a planet even closer than this. Surface gravity 0.38 G. So it's very pretty. It's very pretty, I will give it that, but bloody hell, it's boiling. Come on, where you at? Where you at? I want the goods. Give me the goods. And what was it? Ooh, Alliance Frigate Agincourt. Okay. Okay, thank you kindly. And who are you? Oh my gosh. What was that? Tunshagon. It's so hot it doesn't even give me the temperature. Dear God. Tunshagon is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with traces of chlorine and nitrogen in its atmosphere. It has an unusually small number of moons for a gas giant, a mere 7. This is likely due to the star Farinata capturing the majority of the mass during the nebular collapse that created the system. Orbital distance 5.65 AU. Orbital period 3.2 Earth years. Radius 42,418 kilometers. Day length 9.1 Earth hours. Okay, and that is Farinata. Just one place left. Yes, Cassus. Or Caicus, maybe. Who knows? And let me in. Okay, now what do you have?
Signal confirmed.
Okay. Just the two things. Lovely jubbly. And again, fuel depot. Fuel depot, please. Okay, excellent. Thank you. That is... Oh, that's topped us right up. Lovely jubbly. And where... Okay, right there. In the last place I checked. God damn. Who are you? Ooh, excuse me. There we go. Triamus. Triamus is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with a powerful magnetic field, making it a popular discharge site for freighters working the Anasi-Ishtar shipping route. It is popular enough, in fact, that Quarian ships can often be found loitering in orbit, selling the freighter crews cheap refreshments, salvage, and odd craftworks assembled by their children. There are no ships in orbit at present, however. Orbital distance 51.75 AU. Orbital period 286.7 Earth years. Radius 42,211 kilometers. Day length 12.8 Earth hours. And Farangor. A large but low-density terrestrial world, Farangor is generally believed to consist mainly of water ice. Occasional upwelling of metals caused by the interacting tidal forces of several large moons suggests the core is small but extremely dense. Farangor has a thin atmosphere of carbon dioxide and ethane. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of dark carbon-laced water ice. 13 years ago, Farangor's grim surface colour and dim illumination drew the cinematographer Risa Uvasen to film the exterior scenes of Starless on location. Acknowledged as a masterpiece of Gothic horror, the sets, well preserved by the vacuum, draw hundreds of tourists to the backwater system every year. Orbital distance 20.2 AU. Orbital period 69.8 Earth years. Radius 11,129 kilometers. Day length 69.6 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.00 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature negative 144 Celsius. Then where be you? Oh, right there. It's tiny and it's hiding in the background. How dare you? How dare you, Zamari? Zamari is a small airless cratered terrestrial, a lifeless rock quite similar to Luna. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of silicates, though one hemisphere has several seas of dark basaltic rock. Orbital distance 13.03 AU. Orbital period 36.1 Earth years. Radius 2,236 kilometers. Day length 42.1 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.00 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature negative 117 Celsius. Oh, that sounds nice. That sounds nice right about now. Surface gravity 0.19 G. I'm sorry for talking about the temperature so much, but as I said, we're going through a heat wave. It's one of the few things I can think about. Chohi. Chohi is a terrestrial planet whose surface is mainly composed of aluminum with numerous deposits of calcium. Though it has enough mass to retain a dense atmosphere, Chohi is nearly a vacuum. This lack of atmosphere allows a moderate average temperature, but the differences between day and night are extreme. The surface of Chohi's sunward-facing side is usually covered by a haze of volatiles, mainly water vapor and carbon dioxide, which return to the ground as frost over the course of the long cold night. The Certa Foundation has established a research outpost on Chohi to investigate the native subterranean life of Chohi, which shows incredible resilience to extremes of heat and cold. Orbital distance 3.7 AU. Orbital period 5.4 Earth years. Radius 8,000 kilometers. Day length 54.5 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.00 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 11 Celsius. Surface gravity 1.0 G. And what do you have? More credits, more war assets? I'll take either. I'll happily take either. Credits! Thank you kindly. Okay, and that just leaves you. Ooh, beautiful. Zayata. An enigmatic terrestrial planet, Zayata has a hazy atmosphere of nitrogen and argon. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of calcium with deposits of sodium. 3 times in the last century, ships stopping to discharge at Triamus have reported geometric patterns of light on the dark side of Zayata. Attempts at closer investigation proved fruitless. The lights disappear when ships move approach. I'm too hot to be questioning this. The lights disappear when ships move approach the inner system. Orbital distance 2.0 AU. Orbital period 2.1 Earth years. Radius 5,535 kilometers. Day length 53.8 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.5 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 166 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.7 G. Wonderful. And with that should be... Ooh, hello. Oh yeah, it's... I remember. I left the fuel depot here. Let's pick it up. Lovely, excellent, perfect. Okay. And there we go, that is you 100% complete. Okay, so this area is done. This is the next priority mission. Okay, we've done that. The Citadel is complete. Minos Wasteland. So we have stuff in the Shrike Abyssal. We have stuff in the Ismar Frontier, and I remember there being mention of like, oh, you need to go into the Krogan DMZ zone. I think this is the Minos Wasteland. Yeah, let's just go around. We'll work our way up.
I found something.
Okay, however, is this? Okay, this is just one small area. Excellent, lovely. And technically I didn't need this, but I'll take it. I'll take it, because why not? Aquetus. Home to the famous Iron Canyons, Aquetus has a reddish iron oxide dust, hematite, covering much of its surface, and significant blue cobalt deposits that freckle the terrain. Turian explorers have discovered hot springs in the polar ice caps, heated by magma in the planet's crust. In a strange combination of science and hucksterism, a small facility exports water from these springs, which is bottled and sold as having medicinal properties. The funds are then used to maintain a research station, which has discovered some fossil evidence that Aquetus once harboured microscopic life based on deoxyribonucleic, there we go, acids in these springs. Orbital distance 4.0 AU. Orbital period 8.0 Earth years. Radius 7,437 kilometers. Day length 51.6 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.49 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature -85 Celsius. Surface gravity 1.6 G. Pytus. Though Pytus has a combination of features that make terraforming a possibility, the rights to the planet have been tied up in Citadel Council courts for the past 9 years. The running joke is that by the time the Council finally gives the go-ahead to colonize the planet, Pytus will have evolved life of its own. Home to comfortable temperatures and a mild atmosphere of mostly nitrogen and argon, Pytus could be habitable with the addition of oxygen-producing cyanobacteria. Its crust is high in silicates and carbon, allowing for easy fabrication of construction materials. Smugglers, pirates, and other unregistered starships sometimes touch down on Pytus to lay low or make repairs. Civilian travel is not advised. Orbital distance 1.8 AU. Orbital period 2.4 Earth years. Radius 5,430 kilometers. Day length 26.5 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 1.26 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 21 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.7 G. I wonder who's duking it out for this planet. I wonder who's causing this to, to be tied up in the courts. Which species are like, oh, we want that. Give that to us, please. Okay, credits. Not what I was expecting. Hmm. Excuse me. Veer. pressure cooker planet with a thick atmosphere, with a thick nitrogen-heavy atmosphere, Vir is largely ignored by the galactic community. Probes have revealed a crust of nickel and scorched carbon, both of which can be found in abundance elsewhere at far lesser temperatures. Orbital distance 0.6 AU. Orbital period 0.5 Earth years. Radius 8,162 kilometers. Day length 44.4 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 106.22 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 778 Celsius. Surface gravity 2.1 G. Yeah, I'm not surprised they're leaving this place. Yeah, I'd give that place a wide berth too. 100%. Okay, and you? Maybe the Krogan DMZ zone hasn't opened up yet. Like, I swear down.
Signal confirmed.
I swear down there was some mention of like, oh, you need to go to the Krogan zone. Also, nice to see that this place still has its fuel depot. That'll be handy. Actually, will it? Yeah, no, we have full up fuel. Hey, I'll take that. Polino. A relatively small hydrogen and helium gas giant, Polino remains undeveloped while its sister planet, Metaponto, garners all the attention. This was not always the case. In 2180, news stories seeded throughout the extranet claimed that Element Zero was being found on Polino's moons in record loads. This turned out to be a scam spread by the Dunawurachum Consortium, an Elcor corporation trying to scare up investors. After a small fleet of space probes scouted the area, the hype quickly deflated, and the myth only persists now in unwanted extranet email messages. Orbital distance 8.0 AU. Orbital period 22.7 Earth years. Radius 37,052 kilometers. Day length 16.5 Earth hours. Metaponto. A hydrogen-helium gas giant, Metaponto has developed a helium-3 fueling station funded by Elcor business interests who hope to bring enough attraction to the system to attract terraforming investors and thus eventually develop Volturno as a habitable world. Thus far, they have met with little success. Orbital distance 4.2 AU. Orbital period 8.6 Earth years. Radius 70,520 kilometers. Day length 12.1 Earth hours. Yeah, and whatever success they have is more than likely going to be wiped out when the Reapers arrive. Big oof. Ooh, advanced biotic implants. Lovely. Okie doke. But yeah, big oof for the Elcor investors. Volturno. A so-called super-Earth, Volturno is home to organic life, but is nevertheless uninhabitable for the near future. Currently in an ice age, most of the planet from the latitude of 30 degrees north or south is a frozen wasteland, and so most organic life, limited to algae and lichens, resides near the equator. The strong gravity prevents any sapient species but Elcor from thriving on the planet, and the Elcor cannot breathe the planet's atmosphere, which contains lethal amounts of carbon dioxide in addition to its oxygen. Small packs of Vorcha squatters are attempting to take the planet for themselves illegally, but most of them live miserable existences in the planet's crushing gravity and die from falls and medical complications. Only terraforming on a massive scale would turn Volturno into a habitable world, and the Elcor lack the political capital with the Citadel Council to begin such an effort. Orbital distance 2.1 AU. Orbital period 3.0 Earth years. Radius 11,177 kilometers. Day length 26.8 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.83 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature -10 Celsius. Surface gravity 3.3 G. And you... Ooh. Vecchio. Again, very nice name. Vecchio is a moderately sized terrestrial world with a thin, hot atmosphere of carbon dioxide and nitrogen. Initial surveys found trace amounts of iridium, but little else of interest in the silicate desert sands that cover much of the surface of the planet. On a recent tour, the Alliance surveyor ship Coop discovered a group of partial graves hidden in the equatorial mountain ranges. The ancient skeletons in the burial sites are obviously humanoid, but incomplete and poorly preserved, which has made them difficult to identify. Fragments of primitive ceramic grave goods were also found nearby. This raises further questions about who once travelled to this inhospitable planet, since the closest garden world, Volturno, has no intelligent life. Human universities are planning further archaeological investigations. Orbital distance 1.1 AU. Orbital period 1.2 Earth years. Radius 6,443 kilometers. Day length 39.1 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.79 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 58 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.82 G. I do apologize if you can hear my stomach rumbling. I think as soon as I finished filming this episode, I am doing two things. I am going and making myself some noodles, and then I am grabbing a can of Diet Pepsi out of the fridge. I'm so warm. Literally, I can feel the sweat dripping down my nose. It is so hot in this back room. Flipping heck. My CPU temperature is 64 degrees Celsius. I'm like, it shouldn't be that hot. It shouldn't be that hot. It tends to kind of live closer to 40. It is that hot here. I can't be dealing with this. I'm not built for the heat. I'm not built for the heat. Please, someone. Lepini. A hydrogen methane gas giant, Lepini and its moons have been oh my god, I can't think. Cursorily, there we go, scanned by space probes and found to have little in the way of rare resources. The galaxy at large considers it unremarkable. Oh, I'm sorry, Lepini. And you have such a cute name as well. Orbital distance 0.5 AU. Orbital period 0.4 Earth years. Radius 56,666 kilometers, the devil's number. Day length 9.2 Earth hours. Lovely, and that is Aquila done and dusted again. I just have to check. Yep, there's nothing out there. Okay, and to the Shrike Abyssal. Okay, and there are... Okay, there are two. Good stuff. Now, what do we have here?
I found something.
Okay, something there. And probably a fuel depot. Okie doke. Yeah, this is the last ring. Vem Oscar. A Jovian gas giant, Vem Oscar, Weeping Witness in Hyperion Volus, is a low-density hydrogen-helium planet with 35 moons. Later this year, 33 of the moons will be visible from the planet's surface in a conjunction event. An event that will be recorded by space probes from all over the galaxy. Orbital distance 4.6 AU. Orbital period 9.9 Earth years. Radius 64,826 kilometers. Day length 11.9 Earth hours. I'll leave that for later. Okay, you over here. Tossal Nim. The sister tragedy to the extinction event on Aphras, Tossal Nim was the rarest of jewels, a second garden planet within the same life zone as Aphras. Not as old as its sister planet, its fossil evidence indicates it was home to abundant invertebrate sea life. However, similar craters to those on Aphras created a dust shroud that killed 99% of biota on the planet. The even spacing of the craters indicates a coordinated, simultaneous attack from points around the globe, rather than an asteroid collision or a supervolcanic scenario. Orbital distance 2.1 AU. Orbital period 3.0 Earth years. Radius 6,930 kilometers. Day length 19.8 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 1.86 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 18 Celsius. Surface gravity 1.3 G. And then we want you, Aphras. Speak of the devil. Oh, I remember this. I remember this planet from Mass Effect 2. This is stunning. I love the kind of periwinkle with the gold and white. I love that colour scheme. Aphras. A unique discovery. Aphras is a heavenly twin, a planet in a star system that has not one, but two worlds of sufficient mass to retain a nitrogen-oxygen atmosphere within the habitable life zone of its parent star. Fossil evidence shows abundant vertebrates and evidence of a sapient terrestrial avian species in its Bronze Age. However, the only trace of contemporary life on the planet is that of a single-celled organism in its seas. All else has suffered from an extinction event, a series of massive impacts that vaporized vast quantities of water and lofted dust into its atmosphere. Early theories that this event was a collision with the fragmenting asteroids have now been discounted. The impact craters were aimed directly at habitation centers, and I wonder who did this. I wonder who did that. Orbital distance 1.4 AU. Orbital period 2.0 Earth years. Radius 4,530 kilometers. Day length 31.3 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 2.32 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 33 Celsius. Surface gravity 0.7 G. And that just leaves you, Zadaban, with something nice for me, hopefully. Zadaban is a large, dense planet named for a Volus god of punishment. Its crust is rich in uranium, eroded by winds to create large radioactive dust storms from its surface. The Volus of Talisphere have explored the planet thoroughly with space probes and telepresent robo-mining machines, and discovered they are not the first to exploit the planet. Plastics from a mining station approximately 50,000 years old can be found near the planet's equator. Curiously, the mines nearby were not tapped out of uranium ore. They were instead abandoned at the height of their operation. Colony founded 2154. Population 22,500 in orbital stations. Capital none. Largest station is Dolo Station. Orbital distance 0.7 AU. Orbital period 0.9 Earth years. Radius 7,594 kilometers. Day length 70.0 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 0.0 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 94 Celsius. Surface gravity 1.5 G. And you have down here, quite a ways away. Come on, where are you? Aha! Credits, thank you kindly. Okay, let's head out to Rast. And then once I've explored this area, I'll bring this episode to a close. Okie doke, lovely jubbly. Doz Atab. An ice giant, Doz Atab Skywarden, has a bluish tinge from its hydrogen-methane atmosphere. Its axial tilt causes its seasons to vary wildly in temperature. Orbital distance 3.1 AU. Orbital period 5.5 Earth years. Radius 47,428 kilometers. Day length 10.3 Earth hours. Talisphere. Talisphere is a planet capable of supporting life, if that life happens to breathe ammonia. Discovered by Asari explorers, the planet was used as a bargaining chip by the Citadel Council, who quickly drafted a colonization agreement with its wealthy client race, the Volus. The Council would fund the Volus colonization effort in return for massive trade benefits. With uncharacteristic enthusiasm, an enormous Volus influx ensued, and the Council reaped the economic benefits for a dozen years before the colonization bubble burst. The Reapers found Talisphere easy prey. The independent planet had a defense fleet only sufficient to handle small-scale actions. Its high population and industrial base, once a deterrent to war with other Terminus system worlds, has only served to attract a larger number of Reapers than usual. Oh dear. Colony founded 385 CE. Population 3.8 billion. Population estimates are pre-invasion. Capital Ursa Down. Orbital distance 1.6 AU. Orbital period 2.0 Earth years. Radius 7,550 kilometers. Day length 33.8 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 6.15 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature -25 Celsius. Surface gravity 1.7 G. And come on. What do you have for me? I know there was something that someone wanted in the Shrike Abyssal. I know that for a fact. Okay, Prothean Obelisk. Excellent. And last but by no means least, Bovis Tor. Named the Shining Sea in an Old Volus language, Bovis Tor is so named for its boiling surface, rich in glowing hot alumina, flecked with dark ridges of carbon. Its thick atmosphere of nitrogen and oxygen is no indicator of life, since the temperatures are simply too high. Orbital distance 0.7 AU. Orbital period 0.6 Earth years. Radius 7,307 kilometers. Day length 33.5 Earth hours. Atmospheric pressure 8.39 Earth atmospheres. Surface temperature 253 Celsius. Surface gravity 1.6 G. And whilst I'm here, I'ma just grab this. Thank you. And you know what? I mean, here's the thing. I think this is every system explored. We're going to be heading straight back to the Citadel. Yeah, we've done Sigurd's Cradle. There's nothing over here. Yeah, we've done you, done you. I feel like you're at 100%. Let's just double check. Yeah, there's nothing to scan here. Okay. You know, I'll leave that fuel depot. I'll leave the fuel depot over here. I can remember that. Alrighty then, in the next episode, let me out, there we go, we will head back to the Citadel to hand in what we have left, and I think with that, you know, we've explored every area, I've done every side quest that I can do. I think it's finally time to move on to the next priority mission. So, in the next one, we'll begin Priority Surkesh, but until then, please remember to like if you enjoyed, leave a comment below, and if you wanted to subscribe, it would be very much appreciated. I've been Callista, thanks for watching and see you in the next episode.